New week, new video. Welcome to My Search for Me. My name is Delma Denmar. Last week we saw the first part of the interview with Arvind Devalia. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear back from you what your thoughts are and if it gave you any valuable insights. If you missed it, please do go back. You can watch it, and otherwise stay tuned for the second part. In the second part of the interview with Arvind, we will be talking about several things. Actually, we will be talking with him about one of my favorite topics, focus. He will be sharing some of his practical tips, how he deals with challenges like staying focused and how he applies that in his own life. We also will be talking about what he calls the 3 C's when it comes to life. What is life really all about? Well, I hope you enjoy it, and do let me know what you think about this interview. Feel free to share it with others who could also learn from the insights in this interview. And please do go to the Facebook fan page to like the page to stay up to date about all the developments and all the videos that I'm posting. And have fun watching this video.
Someone asked me what's my philosophy, so I came up with my 3 C's, as I call them. So it's all about connection, connecting people, connecting with a deeper purpose. It's about contributing to people around you, the bigger community, and also celebration. Because you got to have fun in life. Otherwise, what's the point? I know some people who go through life, they feel they had to suffer, but you don't have to suffer. And look at this. I mean, we're sitting in a beautiful garden, and this is celebration of life.
Absolutely.
What more does one want?
Yeah.
And once you become present to that and be grateful for what you have and appreciate what you have in your life, I think life becomes a lot easier.
Yeah. I think especially the appreciation part. I think a lot of people go through life without even realizing what they already have in front of them. That's very beautiful. So let's go back a little bit, because you talked about your little journey and the moment that you decided that you wanted to do more for other people. You talked about the coaching that you do and a little bit about your book as well. But along the way, I mean, going from working in the internet market or internet industry to starting your own company and really being a coach, I can imagine that along the way there were some struggles or some hurdles to overcome. Can you mention a couple and how you managed to stay focused on the end goal?
I think my biggest challenge has been to focus on one thing.
Okay.
Because I feel I've got so many talents in so many different ways, and I tend to disperse my energy in too many things, too many different areas, too many people as well, in fact.
Yeah.
So remaining focused and just focusing on one thing and doing that really, really well. That's been my biggest learning.
Okay. And how did you manage to do that, or how do you focus now?
Now I focus by being very ruthless with my own time and making sure that I only do one thing that's going to make the biggest difference to me and others.
Yeah.
So right now it's my coaching. My coaching is my priority right now. I'm building up my coaching practice even more. I'm looking at how to serve people who want to make a bigger impact in the world. So always comes back to your bigger purpose.
Yeah.
What I find is that once I know what I want to do, then simple practical things like switching off my phone or getting off social media.
Yeah.
It's so easy to spend time on Facebook, and before you know it, an hour has gone by and you haven't really achieved anything you want.
Yeah.
Another practical thing is not to spend all your time in emails, going back and forth. Get out of your inbox.
Yeah.
Look at your inbox maybe only 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you know there's something important coming along, then you check in.
Yeah. Okay.
And a related point is keeping your space very clear and decluttered and clean. We have so much stuff in our lives, I tell you. And I say to clients when I start working with them, I say the biggest single thing that you could do in your life is to let go of stuff you no longer need. And that includes physical things in your house, in your car, includes digital clutter on your laptop, on your phone, people, letting go of people who no longer serve you, just having very clear boundaries. Even with family members, have clear boundaries. and also have an audit of all your relationships. It might sound a bit harsh, but some people drain us and some people energize us.
Yeah.
So look at that.
I think it's important to become aware of that because a lot of people don't realize that some people indeed take energy out of you, whereas others you can talk with them for hours and hours, and it's so
Sure.
much fun and so much energy.
And it all comes back to a word you use, being aware, becoming aware of what's going on around you, within you.
Yeah. And along the way, I mean, you have a very clear vision and you know what the next steps are for you, also looking at the future. Have you ever had the feeling that you wanted to stop because it was quite hard being an entrepreneur and the little challenges?
Many times I've felt like maybe I should just go and get a job again and
Yeah.
work in.
And how did you
corporate.
overcome that, or how did you stay focused and decide, no, this is for me, so I'm going to go for it no matter what?
I think every time I feel like that, I become more determined to do more of what I'm doing
Yeah.
and remain focused on what my bigger purpose is. And to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with working in the corporate world
of
or
course
working for someone else. It's just that's not where I've been up to now.
Yeah.
I've been there, done it.
Yeah.
And the way for me is to do more work in the corporate world as a coach, as someone who transforms people and corporates.
So that would be the
Best
link
of both
with the
worlds,
corporate. Yeah. Okay. A little bit about your book and about your coaching. I mean, I'm a big fan of this book which you gave me when we met
4
each
years
other
ago, yeah.
4 years ago. A signed copy. I have it in my closet. Get the life you love and live it. Can you tell me a little bit more? I mean, there are so many personal development books out there, and I can give my little view on this book. I think it's great, but what makes it different than any other book?
So this book has been out there for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And still continues to sell really well on Amazon. And it was the number one Amazon bestseller in its category,
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, there are literally thousands of books out there like this.
Yeah, similar.
And people ask me the same thing. So I tell them, well, actually, you can go and choose any other book like this, and more or less it's the same thing. But mine's unique to me in a couple of ways. Firstly, it's not just another reading book which you read and then you put away. It's a workbook, as I call it. It's got cherry on it. It's got worksheets that you fill in, and I call it my playbook. It's not even a workbook. Workbook implies it's work. Just a playbook. So readers, what I found is that they've gone through the book, and because they've started taking action and writing down things in the book, changes happen much quicker. They actually go and change something in their life. It makes them really think.
Yeah.
And the second way is different is that a lot of my life story is integrated into the book. So I'm not saying go and do this and this will work for you. I'm saying, look, this is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I could have done better, and this is what really worked for me. So I'm sharing my personal anecdotes, and people like you and others who've gone through the book, they kind of got to know me really well because I'm sharing myself, being very vulnerable in the book, which makes it very accessible. I'm not someone who's pretending to be high and mighty. I'm just another ordinary guy who's had a few life challenges, who's had some amazing successes, and I'm sharing it from a very personal viewpoint and being very vulnerable, so people get that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it a very approachable and humane book, and it keeps continuing to sell well. And one of my intentions is to get it out there much more. I feel that there's a lot of mileage in doing much more with what's in there already.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I have read the book, and I think it is different indeed because it's more like a workbook, like you said. So I didn't come across that yet. So
I mean, and also some of the content is all universal. I mean, we can call it spiritual or whatever label you want to give some of these life principles. There's defined to read out a couple of the chapters. One chapter is give and receive. All the world's spiritual texts, religious books, they always talk about giving. And I'm also saying, look, give and receive. That's what life is about. What you give comes back.
Yeah.
Another one is gratitude. Adopt an attitude of gratitude. So if we adopt if you come from a place where you always in gratitude for what you have, then not only do you feel better, but so much of it comes back to you anyway.
Yeah.
Look where we are now. I mean, totally in gratitude for where we are right now. This very moment is such an amazing, magical day today.
Yeah.
I mean, what's there to be not grateful for?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's the book. And a little bit about your coaching with you, because you mentioned that as well a couple of times. What is coaching with Arvind all about?
Sure. So, looking at what I do and offer, when people first hear about me, they can go to my blog and they can learn more about what I do. And there are exactly 600 articles on my blog right now. So there's so much content there. So if they never even get in touch with me, they can read the blog, and there's so much value they'll get from that. And then they can get the books, and then they can get my personal coaching. And I work with people who are high impact making, high achievers, and I work with them for say 3 to 6 months minimum.
Yeah.
And we work very deep. So it's not just about their external goals, their initial goals, but about what their life is about.
Yeah.
And getting clear about their bigger picture, their bigger goal. Okay. Getting them to share what they probably never shared with anyone else ever before.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you define high achievers?
People who get up and do things. People who are already quite successful, or people who know they can be very successful.
Yeah.
So I work with people who are high energy and people who want to go out and do things. And okay, of course, people can come to me who feel they might not be in that category, but the coaching will get that out from them. Yeah.
Together. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. So now I want to move on to the second part of the interview. We heard a little bit about you, your own little history, how you got where you are today, what you have to offer, and the different things. Yes, this was the second part of the interview with Arvind. A couple of things he mentioned. We talked about focus, some of the practical tips like eliminate distractions and email, but we also talked about what he calls the 3 C's in life. He said that connection, contribution, and celebration, that's what it's really all about. And I believe that's pretty much true. When you think about connection, you can think about connection with others, with a bigger purpose than yourself. When we talk about contribution, in the end, we all want to contribute to something beyond ourselves, you know, a bigger goal, a bigger mission in our lives. And the last one, celebration, it's also good to stop on a regular basis and be aware of everything that you already have. Just being thankful for where you are right now in your life, and you might be much richer than you realize that you are. So that's also actually my little exercise, my little homework that I want to give you. Is come up with a list of all the things that you can be grateful for, and try to do that on a regular basis, and you will see that you will feel so energized, so alive, so happy inside, and that will give you energy to achieve more wonderful things in your life and continue to go after your dreams. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to share with you. In the final part of the interview, we're going to get personal with Arvind. He will be talking about some of the greatest achievements in his life. He will also be talking about, he mentioned it a couple of times, but the whole history behind the annual picnic that he organizes now for for many years, has been organizing. So how something small started and eventually grew out to something big, where so many people get together and have fun and connect. It's a very beautiful initiative that I've attended myself. And I will be asking more questions also about finding your life purpose. So next week you can expect me to post it again. In the meantime, be well, share your insights, go to the Facebook fan page or to the YouTube channel, and I hope to see you again very soon.